The year was 1939. Across the oceans, the world was collapsing. Europe was at war. Nazi Germany's Iron Legion stormed through Poland, then France, leaving fire in their wake. In Asia, Japan's empire spread across the Pacific, its flag rising over cities that once knew peace. But across the Atlantic, in the United States, life still carried on. Baseball games, factory shifts, and quiet evenings filled American towns far from the chaos consuming the world. Yet deep down, everyone knew it was only a matter of time. On a calm Sunday morning, December 7th, 1941, the illusion of peace shattered. Japanese aircraft roared over the Hawaiian Islands, raining fire upon the American fleet at Pearl Harbor. Battleships burned. Over 2,400 lives were lost. The nation was stunned. Shock turned to anger. The next day, President Franklin D. Roosevelt addressed the world, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was now at war. What followed was a transformation unlike any in human history. Within months, America became the beating heart of the Allied war effort, the arsenal of democracy. Men lined up to enlist. Women flooded into factories, building planes, tanks, and ships faster than the enemy could destroy them. The hum of machinery became the sound of freedom. By 1943, the United States was producing more weapons, more planes, more ships than all of its enemies combined. From Detroit to Los Angeles, from Texas oil fields to Pennsylvania steel mills, every hand worked toward victory. In the Pacific, the war was brutal, relentless, and fought across thousands of miles of ocean. At Guadalcanal, American Marines faced jungle, disease, and a fearless enemy. At Midway, U.S. pilots turned the tide of the Pacific War, sinking 4 Japanese carriers in a single decisive battle. Island by island, step by step, they advanced through Saipan, Leyte Gulf, Iwo Jima, Okinawa, each victory bringing them closer to Japan, and each one paid for in blood and courage. For many, it was not just a fight for victory, but for survival. Across the Atlantic, another army prepared for a different kind of war. In North Africa, American troops faced Rommel's tanks and learned the harsh realities of combat. In Italy, they fought uphill through mud and snow, town by town, until they reached Rome. And then, on June 6, 1944 D-Day, under gray skies, more than 150,000 Allied soldiers crossed the English Channel. The beaches of Normandy became a crucible of courage. Machine guns roared, shells exploded, and yet, through fear and chaos, they pressed forward. By nightfall, the beaches were held. Europe's liberation had begun. As 1944 turned to 1945, the Allies marched across Europe. France was free. The German army was collapsing. But victory came at a terrible cost. In the frozen forests of the Ardennes, at the Battle of the Bulge, over 80,000 American soldiers fell in one of the bloodiest battles of the war. In April, the world changed again. Adolf Hitler was dead. The Nazi regime surrendered. In Europe, the guns fell silent. But in the Pacific, the war raged on. Japan refused to surrender. American planners feared a land invasion that could cost over 1 million lives. Then came a decision unlike any before in human history. In August 1945, atomic bombs fell on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. Cities vanished. Tens of thousands perished in seconds. Days later, Japan surrendered. The war and an era had ended. World War II lasted 6 years. More than 60 million lives were lost, soldiers and civilians, men, women, and children. For the United States, over 400,000 never came home, but their sacrifice reshaped the world. The United Nations was born. The world began to rebuild, and from the ruins of war, America emerged as a symbol of freedom, resilience, and hope. They fought not just to win, but to protect the idea that liberty must always endure. Their courage built the world we live in today, and their memory reminds us that freedom once earned must always be defended